In this video I'm going to show you how we can use Teams together with NDI. NDI is a protocol for high quality, low latency video over an ordinary network. NDI stands for Network Device Interface. Teams support NDI to create video streams and send out to a third-party system that can, for example, record or stream the video. What I'm going to do first is to open the Office 365 Admin Center and go to Teams. Under Meetings and Meeting Policies, I have the different policies that apply for our organization. I set the NDI first to be enabled for a set of users or all users. So I'll choose the global for all users in the organization, but of course it's possible to do this on a specific user group using a specific policy. So under global here, we have allow NDI streaming. Make sure that's set to on. And that's what we have to do in the Teams Admin Center. Next, the user has to enable NDI on their particular Teams client. So I'll go to my Teams client here and go to my profile up here and settings, and then I go to permissions, and here we see after a while, this can take an hour or so before the policy has been applied. We see now that we have Network Device Interface NDI, and I'll enable it for this computer, this profile, and then I close this window. If I now create a new meeting, meet now, start meeting, and join now, and I'll just leave it at that. I don't invite anyone else yet. So now under more actions here, I have a broadcast over NDI. If I now go back to my web browser and to a Epiphone Per 2 that I've set up here, I can now see under Add Input that in this network I only have AWHE40. That's a Panasonic camera that happened to be here and sending NDI right now. So we don't have anything for Teams. If I go back to my meeting and I'll start the broadcast over NDI. There we see, it now says stop broadcasting NDI. If I add input here, it's still just a Panasonic camera. That's expected because there isn't really anything to record yet. We only have ourselves as participants in the meeting. So I'll add 2 more participants here, demo 3 and demo 4. My test rooms, I'll add them. The cameras will be a bit dark because they are in a dark room right now, but you can see there are now 3 participants in this meeting. If I now go back here and I'll add input, I can see now that I have 4 different NDI streams from the Teams client. So I got the local stream, I got the active speaker who's speaking right now, and I got the 2 additional users. I can also have the together mode here. If I do, the specific demo 4 and demo 3 here would change, since those streams would behave differently if we have a together mode. But now I, for example, want the local speaker, that's me, and I'd also like the active speaker, the person speaking right now. And let's say I think one of the rooms here are important to record. So I now have NDI 1, 2 and 3 here. This means I can add these streams to another layout. And I'll add a video source. This of course depends on what kind of streaming or recording device you have, but I'll just show you an example of what we can do here. So the 3 windows can then be moved around, and even though they are dark, you'll see how it could work. I can manipulate the layout of the windows. I can add text or images or HDMI inputs or something else for the recording that's not connected to Teams. So this way we can do a lot more dynamic stuff. So if I go back to my meeting here, and and as soon as we run the NDI, everyone will be notified that someone can record or share this meeting. So this can be dismissed, but it will appear on everyone's screens. So if I now stop the broadcast of NDI, we get the information that it has been turned off. I will also see that, I'll just save those. We'll also see that the NDI streams are gone. I'm back to just the Panasonic camera here. And if I restart the broadcast there, we will see that the streams are back. So one more thing that's important to know, this is something you do for each meeting you want to broadcast using NDI. So we now have, it's now being broadcasted. We see stop broadcasting, it says NDI is turned on. So if I just leave this meeting without turning that off, and I'll also leave on my rooms there, and I'll go back to Teams, create a new meeting, start the meeting, and I'll join the meeting here, and I'll just add my 2 users. So we are back, and now we are in another meeting. So I press the 3 buttons and I see broadcast over NDI is here again. This means we are not broadcasting, so this is a per meeting basis. When we can't forget to turn it off for the next meeting, it will only broadcast when we have chosen to actually press the broadcast over NDI. So that is how we can use NDI to send a Teams meeting to a streaming or recording device, for example, to handle the video in some other way somewhere.